Max Verstappen travels to Zandvoort full of confidence. Last weekend, the Dutchman increased his lead in the World Championship by taking his victory at the Belgian Grand Prix. This Sunday, he will hope to add a top prize to the list, another one. But can Ferrari stop him? Yeah, they need big improvements. But moving on then to the history of the Dutch Grand Prix, it first took place in 1952. Italian Alberto Ascari managed to win the first two editions, followed by one Manuel Fangio in 1955, whereas exactly 30 years later, Niki Lauda took victory. The race weekend was not on the calendar for no less than 35 years afterwards, but however, partly due to Verstappen's successes, the event was due to return in 2020, but the coronavirus crisis forced the organisers to move it back a year. Last season, it was only allowed to admit a fraction of supporters. Nevertheless, it was a great success. Verstappen also managed to take victory, making him the first Dutchman to ever win a top prize in the Formula 1 race at Zandvoort. And yeah, onto the circuit itself. It's only 4.3 kilometres long, making it one of the shortest tracks in the F1 calendar. Last season, drivers experienced it as a challenging circuit where every mistake can bring the race to an end. The track has 14 corners, of which the Tarzan curve is one of the most famous. The aerodynamic high-speed corner at the end of the lap also provides a great challenge for the drivers on track, although overtaking seems to be difficult at Zandvoort as it was proved possible last season. But yeah, moving on to F1 this year, with Verstappen's victory at Spa, the title battle seems to have been virtually decided this year. As his rival Charles Leclerc finished 6th in Belgium, the difference between the two drivers has already increased to 98 points. A victory from Verstappen in Zandvoort could therefore be the final blow for the Monegasque if it wasn't already. Moreover, Sergio Perez managed to pass him in the championship. The gap between the two men may only be 5 points, but the Ferrari driver will have to fight back in the coming race weekends. The Dutch race will be crucial in this respect, followed by the Monza Grand Prix. Ferrari, meanwhile, must keep a close eye on Mercedes. George Russell is only 16 points behind Leclerc, whereas Lewis Hamilton is looking for a gap of 40 points. The German team is therefore clearly a clear competitor. And the weather this weekend, several wet days await the F1 teams, but Friday is expected to be dry. The drivers can expect light rain on Saturday. A day later, the showers are expected to be heavier, making it potentially a tricky race. And yeah, looking at the circuit, Ferrari seems to have a good chance of winning at Zandvoort. You just thought it has some similar characteristics to Hungary, where downforce is so important. Ferrari have been performing better in that area all year, but at Spa, Red Bull was stronger than Ferrari in the second sector, where downforce plays a large part. Also in Hungary, Red Bull against all the odds was supreme. On top of that, the Italians are not good in shape internally. In Belgium too, the team appeared to have difficulty in determining the right strategy and was not able to get the great result at the end of the race. Red Bull, on the other hand, has built up a lot of confidence over the last few months, which is also supported by the firm lead in the World and Constructors' Championships. Verstappen executed a great deal of confidence at the Spa circuit, and supported by tens of thousands of Dutch fans, he looks set to do the same at Zandvoort. The difference between Ferrari and Red Bull during the Dutch Grand Prix will not be as big as in Belgium, I'm sure, but the Austrians are certainly ready to guide Verstappen to victory yet again. When this happens, his second world title will be yet another step closer. And yeah, before I go, let me run you through the running times for this weekend in UK time. First free practice on Friday, 11:30 to 12:30. Second at 3 till 4. Saturday, it's 1 till 4 free practice and 2 till 3 for qualifying, and 2 till 4 is the race on Sunday. The main story in the paddock on Thursday seemed to be about the driver market for 2023, with increasing rumours that Pierre Gasly could be heading to Alpine, and Colton Herta from IndyCar to AlphaTauri, which is very interesting. It also seems like on Friday we're set to get an announcement of Oscar Piastri to McLaren potentially, which is widely expected. So yeah, lots of manoeuvrings in the paddock around that. And yeah, I mean, like, the driver lineup for 2023 is really taking shape. And yeah, what a crazy silly season it's been, considering everyone, I think, expects it to be quite quiet this year, really. Practice 1 was topped by Mercedes, surprisingly. It was like the olden days when Mercedes won 2. George Russell slightly ahead of Lewis Hamilton, but the main story of the session really was Max Verstappen, who stopped with a transmission issue early on, and yeah, he can get it back out. Massive disappointment for him in front of his home fans, but it's first practice, hopefully it won't make too much difference to his weekend. But yeah, on the whole, except for that, Ferrari and McLaren as well, restarting off the season well, so they'll be pleased with their start. But yeah, the main story was Verstappen. And in practice too, Tsunoda had a little incident where he got beached in the gravel. But except for that, it was mainly a clean running session. And it's Ferrari who's been fastest, but Mercedes and McLaren right on their tails. Some other teams right up there like Lance Stroll and Aston Martin. But the surprise of the day has to be Red Bull and Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen being quite far off the pace, which will be disappointing for them. But Ferrari looking in a strong position, and Mercedes look like they could challenge as well. So it looks like it's going to be a very, very interesting day tomorrow, potentially with 3 teams in the fight for pole. Before I go, let me run you through my predictions for this weekend. On pole and taking the victory, I'm going to go for Max Verstappen. I don't think Red Bull will be anywhere near as dominant as they were last time out. But yeah, for me, it's just impossible to look past Max Verstappen. Just look at how dominant he was. Even on a very different type of racetrack, it's very hard to look past him. In second place, I'm going to say Sergio Perez. I think the Red Bull will be the fastest car once again, and Perez maybe will have a better pace than he did last time out, and maybe just take second. In third, I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton. To be honest, I think Hamilton would have finished on the podium without his incident in Bahrain, without his incident in Spa, and yeah, on a track which I think should suit Mercedes more. I can see them maybe having slightly faster race pace than Ferrari. So yeah, I'm going to say Hamilton to take the final podium spot. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, any thoughts, comments down below, follow and subscribe for daily for F1 news, and subscribe to my channel, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.